Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Stranger of Paradise. The game launched this week. I've been jumping in and having a chance to go hands-on with the game thanks to the awesome guys over at Square Enix. And today I want to put together 6 things that you should definitely do if you are jumping into this game. Whether you are jumping in for the first time, whether you've played games like this before, maybe you're taking a break from Elden Ring because you've been getting your butt kicked by a boss and you want to get your butt kicked by a boss in another game, then maybe you're here. Either way, whatever it is, if you guys do enjoy this video, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know if you guys are going to be playing Stranger of Paradise, have you played the demo, and of course do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more. But to begin with, in at number 1, experiment with jobs. The game has like 27 jobs and a shed load of playstyles, so don't be afraid to experiment with the ones that work for you, in a very similar vein to say Monster Hunter. If you guys of course play Monster Hunter, you probably do if you're on this channel, you only really scratch the surface if you're just going to stick to one weapon type or one playstyle. So if you really want to have fun working out what works best for you and your team, this is definitely the way to go. There are some basic jobs, things like Swordsman, Mage, Ronin, Marauder. You have advanced jobs, things like Warrior, Black Mage, and you even have expert jobs as well, Dark Knight, stuff like that. Some of these of course do require multiple classes to unlock, but the game has no shortage of playstyles, no shortage of options, and in games like these it really is about creating your own unique bespoke experience, so definitely do be sure to jump around and see what the game has to offer. Next up, keep in mind that block and soul shield are your friend. This game uses something called a break gauge, which is kind of similar to the posture gauge from Sekiro with a few twists. Basically, using heavy or magic based attacks will do larger damage to this, but the same thing can also be used against you. Blocking will prevent this, but is not as rewarding as soul shield. A soul shield is essentially this game's counter system, but if you use it too frequently, you will also be left vulnerable, so it's important to weave this in and out of your combat when you're comfortable with an enemy's attack timing. It's also worth noting that the 2 classes that you play as have their own independent break gauges, so if you need a little bit of extra breathing room, it's worth switching classes on the fly to give you the space that you need. Now, in addition to this, make sure that you do side missions. As you need the best gear and the best weapons to keep progressing, completing side missions are a surefire way of ensuring that you're prepared for the upcoming challenges. They can be selected on a map screen by highlighting a mission and pressing R1 to select a side mission if available. So if you are trying to sort of level up, find your best gear, and basically get you geared up before you go into the next big mission, which is probably going to try and kick your butt, then definitely don't sleep on side missions. Additionally, take time to go through your loot. If any of you guys have played Nioh 2, you will know that this game throws a ton of loot at you, like a lot of it, and Stranger of Paradise is no different, which can be a little daunting, but that's why I want to say take your time. Take your time to go through this on the map screen to see what is optimal for your playstyle. You can visit the smithy on the map screen to dismantle your loot that you don't need, as well as combing through higher end loot to see if it matches your playstyle. Whilst there is a way to automatically equip the quote-unquote best loot, it might not necessarily be the best for your playstyle, so take a moment to do what we used to call in Nioh 2 admin time, where between missions you basically sit down, go through the numbers, see what you've got, and while admittedly it might not necessarily sound the most exciting thing when you've kind of just gone from an action-packed mission, trust me, you'll be grateful for it when it helps you out later on in the game. Additionally, make sure that you use your Anima Shards. Keep in mind that in this game, some classes require multiple basic classes to unlock them for the more advanced tiers. So of course, if you want to unlock classes that maybe you're not using, then this is how you do so. Let's say, for example, you don't necessarily fancy playing as a ranged mage, then using Anima Shards is how you can get around that. Anima Shards can be found in the main and side missions, and they are a little rare, but it's definitely worth your time using these on the classes that maybe you're aiming to level up more quickly. As examples, say the Warrior needs both Ronin and Swordsman, the Black Mage needs Mage, Berserker needs Marauder and Swordsman, and even the Dark Knight needs a Black Mage, a Warrior, and a Berserker. So as you can see, there are definitely times where you will technically need to level a job that maybe you don't necessarily want to play, so again, Anima Shards will help you out. And then finally, play with your friends. I'm going to be honest, this game can be a little rough around the edges, but it's genuinely a lot of fun, and whilst it doesn't necessarily rise to the same heights as Nioh 2, it is definitely a worthy addition to the collection, especially if you have friends. I mentioned before how Nioh 2 is one of my sort of standouts for the last few years, because playing through that with Soxy Bear and another one of our friends was so much fun. The multiplayer component was super strong and honestly just made the experience so much more enjoyable for me personally. Admittedly, if you want to go in and just kind of have that solo challenge, that's completely fine. But I personally do feel, in this situation, jumping in with some friends is honestly so much fun, basically giving you that sort of a DMC Souls-like co-op experience that you've always wanted. But anyway, with that being said, there's a few things to keep in mind when you're jumping into Stranger of Paradise. If you guys have any more thoughts, let us know in the comments down below. If you missed some of our recent videos, then you can check out this one on the channel, and again, don't forget to stay tuned for plenty more.